most prominent foundation of my life is God and sobriety. So for the longest time, I thought I dealt with this stuff, dealing with my alcoholism. I'm in recovery, been in recovery for 14 plus years. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I've already dealt with this. Talked about it to my sponsor. I'm good. Finished. No. Hello, family, and thank you so much for joining me on Elorasong, where we are focused on exposing joy in the journey. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Delightful Insight. Today, I'm going to focus on one question, and that one question is, I'm using my Elorasong journal. That one question is, what is the most powerful or insightful relationship you've had this year thus far? What is the most powerful or insightful relationship you've had this year thus far? Now, last year was pretty intense. We all had some kind of, I don't even know what word to use. It was, I think we all had our own lessons from last year, correct? 2020 was big in every way, in every form, in every sense of the word. So looking back on 2021, because I believe the year is just flying by. It's already August. And I know for me, so much has happened in my life already. So I just wanted to reflect on the relationships in my life. The year's not up yet, and I know that most people tend to look back on, have this big deal of gratitude and looking at life and love and intimacy and relationships in general around November, December, right? We all have this, holiday stuff, or we tend to be grateful on certain days or months of the year. So I just want to kind of throw something in there, something different, and think about who or what is the most powerful or insightful relationship we've had thus far this year. And I as you saw earlier, I had to sit down and write, and come to find out, it's myself. That's my answer. It's myself. And I'm going to share with you why I say that. I started therapy in January. Okay, I started therapy in January, and it was to heal the relationship with myself, particularly with the trauma I experienced with military sexual trauma, MST, okay? There were some things that came up last year, at the end of last year, that I don't know what happened, y'all. It's like the subconscious just said, and ta-da, here you go. And there were so many things that I had locked up. I didn't even know that they were sitting there. I didn't know how they were affecting my life until it got to the point where I was, working remotely, and I'm just sitting at the laptop crying. Not because I was, upset with my job or so distraught with my job. It had nothing to do with it. I was just like, wow, I am going through some major mental and emotional changes. And I had to acknowledge that. I couldn't stay at the job. I had to take care of myself. So, and I've been going to therapy ever since. And when I tell you, my life has transformed in so many ways by just doing that one step, taking that one step. But anyway, I just want to highlight that part too, so you can understand why I say myself. Myself because it takes so much courage, so much courage, simply to say, you know what? I am going to take care of myself. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm not going to worry about what people think or what they say or how this may look on my resume because I left another job. I was just like, I'm doing it. And I did talk to my supervisor at the time, and I said it's for health reasons. And that was it. So I know there's a lot of talk about the gymnasts and the tennis players and all these athletes leaving their multi-million-dollar jobs or careers temporarily or permanently to take care of themselves. And yeah, I want to say that's not a new thing, but because they're in the spotlight. Yeah, everybody sees it, and I can imagine what that looks like, right? Or how it is for them, for everyone to still be watching them as they heal. For me, I'm grateful that I'm a private person and I got to do that on my time, on my own, while growing and creating elorasong. And that's another reason why I said that relationship was nurtured while I created elorasong. I created elorasong in March of this year. So I started therapy January and said, boom, I'm launching a business in March. And that's why I say I'm encouraging you as I encourage myself. That is my why. Okay? That's just part of the why, rather. So anyway, another thing is that I entailed intensive introspection in all areas of my life. What I mean by that is that I had to write, I had to be real with myself, I had to cry and cry and cry and be real with myself again. Now, I've told you before that my background is in aviation and the military and all this other stuff, but the most prominent or the most prominent foundation of my life is God and sobriety. So for the longest time, I thought I dealt with this stuff, dealing with my alcoholism. I'm in recovery, been in recovery for 14 plus years, and I'm like, no, I'm good. I've already dealt with this. Talked about it to my sponsor. I'm good. Finished. No. Turns out I waited so long. Now, mind you, I waited 20 plus years to really do the work, to look at what happened, to realize that, it wasn't my fault. Yes, I had some self-blame and self-worth issues, and how it's a ripple effect. That one incident caused me to choose certain relationships. It caused me to act a certain way in social settings. It prevented me from becoming maintaining the woman that I was growing to be or becoming before it happened. I had so much poise and confidence and drive that I had no doubt about what I could do. Now, mind you, yeah, she comes back every now and then, but there was so much reserve and fight and effort just for me to accomplish certain things, right? So anyway, again, why I chose myself. So by doing the work with self-care, God introduced me and reintroduced me to people that not only elevated me spiritually and mentally, but also enlightened my path of purpose. Wow. Okay, so by saying that, when I say that, I'm saying that, why am I stuttering? Anyway, by saying that, when I noticed when I started really looking at myself and taking care of myself and wanting to learn more of who I am at the core and trying to release those inhibitions, God started introducing me to new people. And some of these new people were so transparent about their journey and their story that it gave me the confidence to move forward. It gave me the confidence to keep doing the work I needed to do in order to claim victory over military sexual trauma, rather than, oh my gosh, it happened and what am I gonna do? Oh, I finally realized this is the part of my mess, right? This is the part of my history. This is the part of why I react a certain way in certain relationships, or why I have a cycle in terms of wanting to be reserved, or wanting to talk to people, or not want to talk to people, or not go out and want to go out, and that was a big part of it. And I believe God introduced me to people that were so open about their lives, near and far. When I say near and far, I mean right next door to another country. I went to visit Belize recently, and there are these women that have just simply transformed my life. And they, so much that I've created greeting cards after them because I was like, you're amazing. Their journeys may not be identical, may not even be parallel, but just the fact that they had so much faith and leaned so much on God, and in spite of their situations during that time, during that trip, that's what I needed to hear. I needed that. So anyway, again, it takes great courage to open doors I unintentionally or unconsciously bolted shut, trusting myself to use the keys of revelation supplied by the people God placed in my life. Yeah. So when people hand me the keys of encouragement, I take note of that. And it's really a matter of, what am I going to do with these keys? Am I going to use them to open a new door? Am I going to keep them to myself, or put them under the pillow hoping the fairy godmother will come and get them? I'm the type of person that I think a lot. I analyze so much, and mainly about me. I look at myself a lot. As you know, I love journals. I love to write. I love to look back and reflect on my life and see if there's any stagnation. So I say, thus far, this year, the most powerful and insightful relationship I've had is with myself. I've grown in ways that I couldn't even think of. Last year, I know I didn't even come to my mind of how or what I would be doing. I remember telling my therapist that looking back even on January, I couldn't even thought of the smile I had or the laughter I was having, like the last video, laughing out loud. You know, I was cracking up. Yeah, at that point in January, nah, y'all, I was really bad off. I was really bad off. It's not myself. And when I say not myself, I just, not myself. I did not want to talk to people. I felt like I was in limbo. You know, it was that, and I told someone that I felt like I was in early sobriety again. Like I had just stopped drinking again and trying to figure out where I was. Like what am I doing here? What's the purpose? Like it's almost like everything I thought I knew was out the window. I had to start over. And that's okay, because that just meant that there's more growing to do, right? And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the growth. I'm grateful for the opportunity to not necessarily start over, but learn new things about who I am and why I do things that I do, why I say the things that I say, why I think the way I think, and in turn, hope to encourage someone else on their journey. That's about it, right? So anyway, I'll pose the question to you. What is the most powerful and insightful relationship you've had thus far this year? Feel free to comment, feel free to share, feel free to simply like, because you can identify with the video, or even subscribe so you can get more. You know, I go through a wide range of topics, so it's mainly about introspection, spirituality, and elevation, enhancement, and encouragement. Yeah. Exposing joy in the journey. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. If you would like your own Elevate t-shirt, feel free to go to elorasong.com. And there's so many other shirts out there. One-word shirts, statement shirts that you can choose from. I have greeting cards, journals, one of which I'm reading out of today as well. And they each have a theme. This one is the favorite affair. And it's really me talking to God. And I feel like you kiss me with comfort. Because why? He kisses me with comfort when I write it. Yeah. Again, thanks so much for joining me. I hope you have a joyous rest of the day, whatever time you're watching this. And I wish you happiness, joy, prosperity, love, all things abundant, and most importantly, all things freely given by God. Most importantly, love. Till next time, have a joyous day.